This weekend, we remember the event that forever changed our lives. And as we commemorate 9/11, another threat looms.
We're going to see a huge increase in motor vehicle checks, bridge and tunnels slowdowns.
Plus, homes in the Northeast are once again being threatened, this time by Lee. And who smokes the most? The states where people can't seem to snuff out their habit. Also, one lawmaker's quest to get to the bottom of a naked problem in his city. Your Independent News Network starts right now. Remembering 9/11 on the stock exchange today as we prepare to mark the 10th anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attacks on our country, officials warn of a potential threat. Good evening, I'm Ryan Bass in for Mike Mickle. Welcome to INN News. More details are unfolding on that threat, which seems to center on New York and Washington, D.C.
Citizens should know that we're taking all the appropriate steps that are necessary to be able to ensure their safety.
The threat apparently was initiated by al-Qaeda's new leader and involves two members of al-Qaeda and possibly an American. Officials say the plan appears to involve a car or truck bomb. Security has been ramped up in both cities. Now, small airports are being extra cautious as well, and as George Solis from our Gainesville, Florida affiliate GTN reports, TSA officials are telling travelers flights will be handled like any other day.
Just days before the 10-year anniversary of the September 11th attacks, airports all over are on high alert for any signs of suspicious activity. Not far from this memorial of the September 11th attacks, travelers are getting ready to take flight. Airport officials say security measures are just as tight as ever. One passenger says he'll be flying on the anniversary of the attacks.
I'll definitely have the thoughts of what happened in that day in my mind. I mean, I think about that on a regular basis when I travel, when I fly and around that date. But, you know, it won't deter me from flying or from traveling at all.
Federal Security Director Ed Goodwin says there'll be a closer watch on smaller airports like Gainesville Regional.
A terrorist, if they're trying to get into the national airspace system, certainly isn't just going to go to all the larger airports and do it. An airport like a smaller airport like Gainesville here in Florida or some of the other airports have to be every bit as vigilant as Boston and Logan Airport or as Jacksonville, Florida or as Atlanta Airport, that a terrorist can pick any target. We don't know which target they're in, what airport they're going to get into, but once they get into the system, then they're in. So we try to be just as vigilant in our smallest of airports as we do at a Boston airport.
George Solis reporting for INN News.
President Obama today is urging Congress to pass his jobs bill and to do it quickly. He unveiled the American Jobs Act last night. It comes when unemployment remains stuck at 9.1%. The president's approval ratings are at their lowest since he took office, and he's facing re-election in 14 months. The price tag for that plan. So what is it? Well, $450 billion. The main elements include increasing and extending a payroll tax cut of $175 billion. The president says the extra money will help businesses hire more people. $25 billion is set to modernize, while $35,000 will go towards preventing teacher layoffs.
It will create more jobs for construction workers, more jobs for teachers, more jobs for veterans, and more jobs for long-term unemployed. It will provide a tax break for companies who hire new workers, and it will cut payroll taxes in half for every working American and every small business.
Republicans offered no formal response after last night's address. Analysts say many are likely to support some tax relief measures. There's more wicked weather we got to tell you about. What's left of Tropical Storm Lee is leaving its mark on the Northeast, already waterlogged by Irene. At least 3 people have been pronounced dead in Pennsylvania, and near historic flooding is happening in the northeastern part of that state. Tens of thousands of people have evacuated their homes near this river, which crested this morning. President Obama signed emergency declarations for Pennsylvania as well as New York. And some of the victims from the wildfire in Bastrop, Texas say federal help is not coming fast enough. FEMA has been there, but the agency hasn't said when or if it will start writing checks. 1,500 families lost their homes this week. People are tired and frustrated.
Let people know what's going on. You know, what are we going to do? What are they going to do? Are they going to do anything? You know, quit with just the government red tape with the standard answers of, oh, well, we can't give you any information. So, you know, it's frustrating.
The 34,000-acre Bastrop County fire is still only 30% contained. From flooding to fires, the summer has given plenty of reasons for us to prepare for the unexpected. Could your finances weather one of these crises, though? Here's Mike Mickle with the answer.
The best time to prepare your finances for a catastrophic event is before it happens, so the FDIC recommends the following tips. Look over your insurance policies periodically to make sure they're up to date, and be aware of what's covered. That includes policies for your home and your car. You might need extra coverage for things like floods or earthquakes. Consider taking photos of your property in case you need to make claims. If you don't already use your smartphone for banking or bill pay, set it up. That will allow you to manage your finances from anywhere. Direct deposit also makes delivery of your paychecks easier during tough times. Have copies of identification and other key documents in case you need to restore your financial records, things like driver's licenses, social security cards, and passports. It's also another good idea to build an emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of living expenses, in case a crisis puts you out of work for an extended period of time. I'm Mike Mickle reporting.
Time for Back to Business now. Get a slushie, rent a locker, a possible new service at the 7-Eleven, and what's old is now new again when it comes to shopping.
There's been a shakeup at Bank of America. The company is splitting itself into 2 units, consumer and commercial. Bank of America confirms as many as 600 branches could be closed, though no decision has been made on the precise number. The bank's shares are down 44% this year. There could be a new partnership in the works between online retailer Amazon.com and convenience store 7-Eleven. A report earlier this week says Amazon may put lockers in 11 stores, letting customers have their online orders delivered to a safe public spot instead of left on their doorsteps. Neither side is commenting on this yet. Walmart is bringing back something its customers have been asking for since the Great Recession: layaway. The world's largest retailer ditched the pay-as-you-go plans in 2006, but it's rolling out a holiday layaway plan from October 17th through December 16th. Layaway, which allows shoppers to pay over time interest-free and pick up their merchandise when it's paid in full, became popular during the Great Depression.
Time for Global News Now. In London, a funeral was held today for Mark Dugan. Dugan was shot and killed August 4th after a police unit dealing with gun crime stopped his cab. A peaceful protest over the 29-year-old's death later turned to violent riots in London and other cities. His death is still under investigation. The global hockey community is still trying to come to terms with Wednesday's plane crash in Russia. It killed many of the game's top players and devastated the Lokomotiv Yaroslavl team. Their plane crashed on takeoff. 43 of the 45 people on board were killed. The 2 survivors include a Russian hockey player and a crew member. Both remain in intensive care. It's an exciting day for rugby fans as the 7th Rugby World Cup kicks off in New Zealand. The host nation defeated Tonga in the opening match, which took place in Auckland. The final score was 41-10. The town of Christchurch was to host several matches of the World Cup, but was devastated by February's quake. I'm Mike Mickle, and that's your Global News Now.
Thanks, Mike. More and more people are kicking the habit, but not everywhere. Which states have the highest smoking rates? Plus,
don't throw it out. I'm Erica Rodriguez. Coming up, I'll show you the value of junk mail.
One movie in theaters this weekend has a bit of a trashy theme. The story behind Bucky Larson, born to be a porn star. And
you're wearing clothes.
it's the naked truth behind a new proposal in one city. You're watching INN.